Hi, my name's Ruby and I'm one of the horticulturalists here at the Greenery Garden Home. On this week's video, I'd love to chat about some Australian native plants that are local to the Banyule City Council. Before I get into that, I'd love to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Wurundjeri and Woiwurrung people. And I'd love to pay my respect to their elders past, present and emerging. The best way to choose natives for your garden is to find out what grows locally to your area. If you check out your local council's website, they'll often provide a PDF that has a list of plants endemic to your council. Here in Banyule City Council, at the moment, we have the beautiful Hardenbergia, which has gorgeous pea flowers that are bright purple and wonderful dark green leathery leaves. This here is a climbing plant and quite a fast growing climbing plant too. If you were to chuck this in the ground today, I'd hope that by Christmas time it will have gained about 30 centimetres in height if you were to chuck it up against a fence or pergola. Alternatively, if you sat it on the ground without any kind of trellis, it might slowly creep over the ground and become a ground cover. So long as the Hardenbergia has access to free draining soil, it'll be happy pretty much anywhere, making it a versatile and foolproof addition to your garden. It can handle high heat and a little bit of frost, as well as full sun and shade. We stock these regularly at the greenery and they'll be flowering to the end of spring. It's the middle of winter here in Melbourne, and in a couple of weeks' time this Epacris will be covered in bright pink spires. Similar to the Hardenbergia, the main requirement for the Epacris is free draining soil, and once you've got that, you're good to go. In its lifetime, this plant can reach about 1 metre in height, and that'll involve beautiful big spires that are bright pink, which make excellent additions to bouquets. If you want to add some instant native colour to your garden and some wonderful floral and foliar contrast, the Epacris is an excellent choice. Next on my list is the native violet. This is a ground cover that maxes out at about 2 to 5 centimetres in height and will sprawl indefinitely across shady areas in your garden. The native violet has beautiful white and mauve flowers and excellent kidney-shaped leaves. Like I said earlier, it is a ground cover. However, if you were to chuck it in a pot or in a hanging basket, it would eventually trail over and billow over the edge, creating a waterfall effect. This plant will grow best in shade or part shade and flower pretty much year round, which is why it's one of my favourites. If you're not too keen on the flowers and you'd like a similar trailing effect, I'd recommend the Dichondra. The reasons which make this Dichondra such an excellent alternative to the native violet are its habit, because it's a ground cover, its leaves that are quite similar and kidney shaped, and most importantly, its ability to handle sunlight. This plant here can act as an alternative lawn, it can be a ground cover, or even become a trailing element in your hanging baskets or pots. Next on my list is the much loved Maidenhair Fern. This plant here makes an excellent addition to your garden or home, so long as you have a nice shady spot and you're able to keep it well watered. The Maidenhair Fern is renowned for its beautiful lacy foliage, and to keep it looking this good, you must be able to keep the water up to it, especially if you're going to have it indoors. Now, this doesn't mean keeping it damp all the time. It means giving it a good soak every 10 days or so and letting it dry out slightly in between. The best way to gauge whether or not it's time to water is to stick your finger in the soil. If it's damp, leave it alone, and if it's dry, time to give it a water. To further increase the longevity of your Maidenhair Fern, add some native Osmocote. You can put this on every 6 months or so. It's nice and gentle and slow release, and it's actually good on all of the natives I've mentioned today. If you want to give the rest of these plants an extra boost, especially during the warmer months, I'd recommend some bush tucker. It's slightly more hard hitting, and I'd comfortably put it on my native plants every 12 weeks or so in the garden. Keep in mind, winter is the perfect time to collect and plant this beautiful selection of natives. The Greenery Garden Home is open 6.5 days a week, so please swing by and check out our selection of natives that are local to the Banyule City Council. Thanks everyone for watching, and feel free to leave any questions or comments below.
Thanks.